She's back! And really, just in time, because Caitlin Clark's absence has not only hit the Fever very hard, they haven't been the same team, certainly haven't looked like a championship contender without Caitlin Clark on the floor, but it has hit the WNBA as well. You know, a 50+% ratings drop since Caitlin Clark went out. That's just the pure facts. So her being back on the floor for a showdown with the New York Liberty is not only a boost to the Indiana Fever and where they can be going forward, but a boost to the entire league as well.
Well, the Indiana Fever, I'm watching it. It just went final, 102-88 over the league undefeated, now defeated New York Liberty. New York Liberty, Stephanie White did not.
Caitlin Clark just demolished her comeback game. 32 points, 9 assists, 8 boards, 7 threes, smashing the Liberty's 9-game victory streak on her first night back. From missing 5 with a quad injury to raining logo range bombs in the third quarter, this was a comeback for the ages. And Indiana's greatest shooting night of the season, 17 threes, 49% from downtown. And here's the kicker. The reigning champs seem shocked. Now, hang around because coming up, we're breaking down how this performance could reshape the WNBA power grid and why Caitlin Clark might just be the spark that produces a champion.
Caitlin Clark will be out for at least 2 weeks. She has a quad strain that has been bugging her since training camp. That stinks for the Fever, obviously. That stinks for our city. That also stinks for the WNBA as a whole. Feels like this year a lot more common sense is kind of settling in. Caitlin Clark is the needle mover. The Indiana Fever are the draw. They're going to be without CC for at least a couple weeks as she rests and tries to heal up a quad strain. That sucks for everybody in the WNBA. It definitely sucks.
Caitlin Clark comes back from a quad injury, goes out 5 games. Then on her return, boom, 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, and 7 logo range threes. Indiana buried the previously undefeated Liberty 102-88. That's not a welcome back. That's a statement. The Fever drilled 17 threes, a franchise record. The victors were surprised, the audience went bananas, and social media exploded. I mean, LeBron tweeted the CC effect. Welcome back. The question today is Clark's comeback the moment that transforms the whole WNBA. And let's be real, when was the last time a rookie returned from injury and looked even better than before? Clark didn't simply catch fire, she converted the arena into a full-on furnace. This wasn't luck. This was preparation. Hours of therapy, drills, and mental focus. You could see it in how she moved. No hesitancy, no rust, just pure killer instinct. Here's what made tonight explosive. 5 games ago, Indiana was rolling. Then Clark went down with his quad strain. The team dropped to 2-3. Energy evaporated. Offense seemed stagnant. First practice returned. Coach White stated, "Let's give ourselves grace. She'll discover her beat." But fans, they were restless. You felt something lacking. And when your best player is out, everyone notices.
Routinely, the injury updates, what were Caitlin and Sophie able to do today, and how do you anticipate their status being for?
Yeah, I mean, we limited their reps, but really tried to see if we get him up and down the floor a little bit, starting to try to get into game rhythm, game speed, game pace, timing a little bit off, rhythm a little bit off, but continuing to try to work them in as
It was like witnessing a band play without its lead singer. Sure, the music's still there, but it doesn't hit the same. The spacing on the court appeared odd. The timing felt unsteady. Defenders weren't drawn out the same way without Clark's gravity. But here's the story angle. Tonight wasn't just a return, it was a resurrection. First time since 2024, she stepped foot on court, and the energy returned instantaneously. You could sense it. That's what differentiates the ordinary from the epic return with a roar that we've seen players come back, ease in. But Clark, nah. She took the mic and said, "Let me finish this." She didn't only fill a gap, she raised the entire squad. She reminded the league, this is what it looks like when the face of the game steps on the floor. Have you ever felt the spark evaporate from your team when one person's out? Let's discuss about how this game started. Minute 1, Clark needed 14 to hit a new milestone. How'd she open? 3 logo threes in under 38 seconds. Yes, you heard that right, 38 seconds. And these weren't casual threes. They were Steph Curry caliber deep-ranging flamethrowers from another zip code. The Liberty were left scrambling. They tried switching defenders, doubling early, throwing every imaginable look. Nothing worked. Caitlin didn't simply discover her groove, she set the rhythm. The crowd losing their minds. Commentators virtually shrieking. Fans watching at home standing, screaming, tweeting. And right there, she told the WNBA, "I'm back and I brought the thunder." It wasn't only the shooting. It was the confidence, the footwork, the body control. She pulled up from the logo like it was nothing and held the posture like she already knew. That's cold. That's elite. And honestly, that type of boldness is what separates decent athletes from icons. You ever seen someone just take over right away? No warm-up, no easing in, simply domination. Clark did that right from the first whistle. What's the wildest first quarter you've ever watched in basketball? Now, let's break down that wild first half. Caitlin Clark recorded 25 points in under 20 minutes. That's more than a point per minute, people. You can't coach that. You can't even prepare for that. You just witness it. And if you blinked, you missed something. She tied her career high for a half, and she did it like it was casual pickup. Indiana was down early. Liberty had an 11-point lead, but Clark started a 25-3 run over the second quarter that dramatically turned the script. Suddenly, it was Indiana leading 53-50 at the half. The champs looked bewildered, their defense failing. Their offense stagnated. Meanwhile, Indiana looked like they'd unlocked cheat codes. And here's where you understand this was more than just gunfire falling. It was rhythm, confidence, faith. Every player fed off her energy. Even when she didn't score, the ball moved better, the cuts were sharper, and everyone started believing. That's the thing about generational players. They don't just put up numbers. They affect how everyone else plays around them. Have you ever witnessed one person entirely transform a team's identity in real time? Because that's what this was, and it was beautiful. Let's not act like Clark did this alone. Oh no, her comeback may have sparked the match, but the rest of the squad delivered the gasoline. Kelsey Mitchell icy cold dropped 22 points and blasted a dagger corner 3 late in the fourth that virtually killed the game. That shot should be in a museum. Lexi Hall, deadly from deep 3 of 4 from downtown, finished with 14 points. And then there's Aaliyah Boston doing Aaliyah Boston stuff. 10 points, 11 rebounds, absolute possession of the paint. She was out muzzling everyone, not just surviving, dominating. This wasn't simply a Caitlin comeback. It was a team blast. Everyone found their positions. Everyone knew their role, and they played with swagger. You could see it in the bench reactions. You could feel it in the fourth quarter. The Fever weren't simply aiming to win. Then they were expected to. That's a deadly team. That's a playoff team. When your role players become killers, you're not rebuilding anymore. You're contending. All right, stat lovers. This one's for you. Caitlin Clark's stat line wasn't only outstanding. It was straight up legendary. 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 7 threes. That's not just a fantastic night, that's a career night. And she's coming off an injury, and the team 17 made threes. Nearly 49% shooting from deep. That's how you demolish a top-tier defense. Let's talk advanced impact. Clark's plus-minus was off the charts. Her presence spread the floor, produced mismatches, and created open looks every trip down. She also became the 4th fastest WNBA player in history to achieve 850 career points. That's not simply a number. That's elite company. That's face of the league territory. But stats only reveal half the story. Stats without context are simply math. What made this night unique wasn't the spreadsheet. It was the storm, the logo threes, the fans howling, the bench going berserk. It was the feeling of witnessing greatness. You want to win huge games, you had to defend. And Indiana brought bite. They weren't just switching displays. They were owning matchups. Physical, tough, smart. They held the Liberty to only 6 of 29 from 3. And it wasn't just lousy shooting. It was contested looks, hands in the face, savvy rotations. Lexi Hall was diving for loose balls. Boston was bodying up in the paint. And Clark, she even picked up a technical foul and the team loved it. That emotion galvanized the defense. It wasn't a tantrum, it was fire. When you see your star become fired up, it sends a message. We're here. We're loud and we're not backing down. Sabrina Ionescu struggled to find rhythm. Breanna Stewart disturbed. Every Liberty possession looked like work. And that's the beauty of defense. You don't have to be fancy to win. You just need grit. Do you think Indiana's defense is finally championship caliber? Or is this only a peak of what they could be? Let's debate it. Let's put this win into context. The Liberty were 9-0, undefeated, seeming unbeatable. And Indiana didn't just beat them, they smacked them. A 14-point statement with Clark coming off injury. That's a headline. Sure, New York was missing Jonquil Jones and Leni Febick, but let's not pretend they weren't still stacked. Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Benij Laney, they were all out there. No excuses. Indiana outplayed them, outshot them, outhustled them. And this triumph matters. It breaks the league open. It tells every squad, watch your back. The Fever are approaching. It's also cultural. Sue Bird stated it herself. Clark has revived attention for women's hoops like none before. Viewership is rising. Merch sales are booming. The hype isn't just hype, it's occurring. Do you believe this win puts Indiana in the conversation as serious title contenders? Because after tonight, they've earned a seat at the table. So, if this got you psyched, press that like button, click subscribe, and most importantly, leave your best moment from this game in the comments. Was it that Logo 3, the lockdown team defense? Let us know.